evening, everybody, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Back here for another Thursday night edition of the NEP series brought to you by U-House Race Designs for the Ham and Egger 80 here tonight. 100 laps originally on the docket, but, well, we got a little bit wonky here once we got going with the setup, and unfortunately, we're 20 laps shy of the initial start. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the production trailer alongside me, as always, here on a Thursday night. Hey, Ron, Aaron Creed. Aaron, how we feel today, brother?
Oh, I'm feeling great. We're here at your home track, and I'm sure you're pretty thrilled about it. I know Corey was. He's been sending us messages all day long. He's going to be starting pretty deep in the field, though, as we're on the pace lap.
It's stimulation, the iRacing simulation. It mimics real life, right? We kid because we care. Lots of drivers have run this track in real life, in this field. Stafford Motor Speedway, you made mention, my home track. Got to give a shout out to Gary Spinato, the owner, co-owner of Rent a Race Car. Got into a little bit of a car wreck a couple nights ago, a little bit banged up. Was going to try and join us in the booth here tonight, but gave him the night off. Told him to rest up on the couch and get those boo-boos healed up for next time. Real race season and real health matters in a big way. But how about that pole time? 1967. Here my dad was born. For Ryan Libby, going to start on the pole. Three-time champ John Peters on the outside. We're already at 1 to go. We're 2x2 all the way through the field. There's 27 cars here as we cycle on through the grid. The top 12 there, and then the next 12 there on your screen. Aaron, what are we going to expect here from Stafford Speedway?
Well, now that it's 80 laps, there's probably going to be a bit more urgency. And we'll see. It's the second late model stock car race we're going to be holding. The last one at Hickory had a few yellows, but it was not too bad of a race. And here we go. We're going green. Ryan Libby and John Peters on the front row. Libby's coming off a very good run a few weeks back. And he's going to try to continue that momentum. And he's doing it so far up front ahead of John Peters.
And I got to tell you, Aaron, it's really cool to watch these late models race at Stafford Motor Speedway from the iRacing standpoint. Up here in these quote-unquote proverbial stands, most times I'm down on the pit crew for the 39 of Paul Fabricchio Jr. Not so much this year, but in years prior. And when you watch these late models, you're standing in the infield kind of going around in a circle, and you don't realize how dizzy you're getting until about lap 15. But maybe there's a better way for me to watch racing in real life. I'm still working on that, still new to it. But man, oh man, front 5 or 6 cars have pretty much broken away single file. The first side-by-side battle, well, it turned into a single-wide battle. Reagan Parent down in the 17, though. Getting around that 14 car of Zane Farrell, the 9 of Jason Ricker is up in the mix as well. These guys know that they don't really have too much time to get up towards the front. There's Corey Casagrande. He found that outside wall in a big way.
Wow, not good for the hometown driver, the number 7 CT, and that car's going to be bent up quite a bit. I don't know if he's going to be searching for someone on the racetrack here, but something happened.
It looks like R-Style TV. Ooh, looks like Brent Roy a little bit sideways back in the picture, unrelated. So we'll back that up and take a peek at it. As the cameras switch, there you see the Flow Racing ride way loose in the back. Focusing now on that 7CT, down on the apron. We see that all the time here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Gets into Belkey in the 24 car. Up, gets him up into the high groove, and looks like the 24 came back down. That's a nasty little pirouette there for the 7CT.
Yeah, we're glad Corey's okay. Maybe he can even get it rolling once again and make some laps. That car's going to be a little bit battered, though. Tough break for the number 7 CT as we see the slow motion. You don't see that all the time on the front stretch. Those fans in the stands sure got a front row seat for that one. And we're going to be under an early yellow right now in number 7 of Corey Casagrande. Hopes to keep it going again in the Wicked Power Sports Chalu Performance car. And I don't think we see Chalu in the field because I saw he's at PRI in Indianapolis this weekend.
Yeah, lots of real racing events going on here in the month of December. You and I just came off a trip from the Freedom Factory down in Bradenton, Florida. That was an absolute blast. Cool to meet up with some new faces, some old faces, old friends and new friends, and all sorts of mayhem down there. And stuff going on in 2024, man. It's just cool to be able to kind of take a seat back, take a quick breath, sit back and look. That schedule's packing itself pretty solid here for 2024 in the real racing and the sim racing world.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I started penciling in a schedule of my own for what we're going to do here once the NEP season winds down, and actually probably during it too. to be honest. But yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. Schedules coming out all over the place, including Stafford Motor Speedway's 2024 schedule. It's already out. So if you haven't seen it, there's some pretty good events, including that Spring Sizzler, the end of April. A lot's going on. I know Corey Casagrande just shared an event that he's looking to do in May. I think in New Hampshire. So there's a lot going on already, and we're not even done with 2023 yet.
Absolutely right. And the Stafford Speedway schedule, the SRX Series opener once again for season number 3. Those guys are going to be here at Stafford Speedway. This guy right here, the very next night, going to be in a street stocks. I'll be in the number 6 car the next night there. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Green flag flies once again. Libby with a phenomenal restart in the number 46. Gets the jump on John Peters. Once Peters, though, got that car set up, it seems like the front of that thing is just glued to the bottom of the racetrack. You can see right on that line, using it just a little bit to kind of get the tires down there, get that car to de-wedge a little bit, and try and find a little bit more grip than Libby there. A little side-by-side action breaks itself up as Dale Glessner gets around Ryan Messer for the spot.
Yeah, a couple cars scraping together there, and everyone's staying straight though right now. It's a good battle for third there between Glessner and Messer. And Messer, I believe, is still the point leader. I forgot to check the points here coming into this event, but I believe he's right up there still. Reggie Parent running in 5th. He's having a solid run right now. There's Steve Daddio in 6th, side-by-side for 7th. It's Jason Ricker and John Miller.
The 6 and the 9 side-by-side. How nice is that? Ricker down on the bottom of the 9 car. Miller up in the high side in that number 6, trying to make it work up there. We've seen that middle groove kind of work at Stafford Speedway, but you can see just getting really, really high, not quite able to kind of capitalize while he's up there. Zane Farrell now taking a peek down low, running in the 8th spot right where he qualified, trying to advance his position just a little bit. And you can see he left the door open just a little bit for Kibbe to come on in and take a peek at that top 10.
Yeah, definitely Kenny Kibbe. It's been a couple races this year where he started outside the top 10, and before we know it, he's knocking on the door of a top 10 position. I'm sure we'll see him potentially knocking on the door of the top 5 soon. Evan Boyer following through there in the 56 as well. I know he had kind of the dinner of champions that he shared over on his Twitter, or X, or whatever you call it now. And lots going on track right now. A lot of competitors right there in the middle of the field that are often front runners trying to find their way towards the front.
Yeah, you can see right behind him, Brent Roy in the 26 car. Looks like he's just a little bit loose in the back end of that thing as he comes out of 4. He kind of wobbles just a little bit. Doesn't seem like it's slowing him down too much right now, but it may affect the tire wear as we get a little bit further on to this one. There you see John Miller. Everybody kind of sitting back and getting single file. Mike Hopkins, top 10 run last night in the Turn 4 podcast. iRacing Winters Series. Having a solid run here tonight. He's gained 5 spots, running 13th right now. He's got a mirror full, though, of RSAL TV. Ryan Salvatore in the number 12 car, pulling along the 0 of DJ Gerard. Saw both those cats last night as well. And they're running just inside, just inside the top 15.
Yeah, DJ Gerard with those reflective numbers. I thought it was kind of getting in the holiday spirit maybe, but it's actually just reflecting on the... I like that green reflectant. That's pretty cool right there for Gerard. And right now he's trying to work with RSAL to try to move up a few positions, and a lot of racing going on in the mid-pack. It seems like they've all kind of settled in, though, for the time being, just kind of making their way. We're just approaching the quarter-way mark at the moment, so we're moving right along.
Indeed, we are. Checking back in with the leaders. They have checked out. They're about a second and a half in front of the field. Libby and Peters bumper to bumper here as we work lap number 1980 on the docket here tonight. So a quarter of the distance in the bank just about. How about that quick math? I stole it from Aaron, but still, I repeated it, so it works out all right. Ryan Messer back just a little bit. He's got some work to do. 1.4 seconds the gap from third to second. He's got a little bit of breathing room in behind him. Dale Glessner rocking the 4th position right now, and right in behind him, the 17 of Reagan Parent holding on to that top 5 position. Daddio, Ricker, Farrell, Kibbe, and Bollier, the top 10 as they run. Little conveyor belt action here as we work around Stafford Motor Speedway.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think it will be that way for very long, as things are going to pick up. We talked about it earlier. The race shortened 20 laps from what was originally planned, so right now we're past quarter of the way through, and we're going to be hauling right through at very soon. Corey Casagrande's lost a lap in the number 7, but right now he's the first car a lap down, so if there is a yellow, he will get that free pass and put every car back on the lead lap. So he's kind of hoping for that as the leaders are approaching slower cars now. And it's going to get pretty interesting here up front very soon. John Peters is going to try to go for another win here, but he's going to have to get around that 46 for Ryan Libby.
Absolutely. Was getting ready to say Corey Casagrande needs that caution right now to get back on that lead lap, because there's 3 cats in front of him, in front of our leaders here, Libby and Peters, that are getting ready to go a lap down. It looks like they've got it all sorted out. That's actually Corey Casagrande, the second car up in front there, so in danger of going a second lap down here at your home track. That's a tough pill to swallow here early on at Stafford.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. Wow, we're dicing through this field. Corey Casagrande is going to lose a second lap now, unfortunately, with that ailing number 7 CT. I'm sure he's pretty disappointed about how that's going right now. But Ryan Libby and John Peters continuing to set the pace. They have almost a 2-second lead on Ryan Messer, who has taken third back from Plessner. They're about to lap the 17 of Keith Lord, and Lord's going to move out of the way and let these two continue the battle.
And there you see exactly what Libby was looking for. More clean racetrack out in front. Couple of drivers going a lap down here at Stafford, working lap number 26. Again, shout out to Renner Race Car. Man, it's tough. Gary was going to join us in the booth here tonight, but unfortunately had a little bit of a fender bender, as we'll call it. So on the couch recovering, watching at home here on VidaneTV. And Aaron, we're live all over the place. You mentioned Twitter earlier on, where a lot of the arguments and a lot of the bickering here with these NEP drivers takes place. We're live on Twitter. We got that all sorted out. x.com/VidaneTV. Give us the like, the follow, all the good stuff, the shares. You can watch the VidaneTV races right there live on Twitter. We're also live on the YouTube page, as well as Facebook and Twitch. So still taking over the internet here at VidaneTV. We got some big things going on here at HQ, working on the new hashtag Studio 54. Should be done here in the next week or two, and I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to be pumping out some content here in 2024. There's some big things going on in the iRacing world, as well as the sim racing world. And speaking of things going on in the iRacing world, a little bit of a connection issue, it looks like, for Peters in that second position. And it looks like he may have disconnected from the server, as the scoring pylon has him dropping like a rock.
You don't see a mechanical problem like that happening for Mr. Peters very often. Yeah, that's going to be he's already used his one drop that he has from missed one of the races earlier in the year. So this is really going to set up pretty big deficit for him. But we do have a yellow flag coming out on lap 30. Not sure who it was for, but this might be something for Peters to recover, because I think he only lost one lap.
This is going to be a tricky one to try and sort through the field and see not where anything happened, but if anything happened. I think we might have had a bit of a glitch with the connection issue caused by the 09, because I don't see anybody pointed in the wrong direction. And for one reason or another, once Peters disconnected, the caution flag came out. So I'm not entirely sure what went on there, but it looks like everybody's still pointed in the wrong direction. Or the right direction. Wow.
I sure hope no one's in the wrong direction, but I think we're going to have to get our broadcast pointed in the right direction now. And I'm actually making a switch up here while we're under yellow. I am actually switching in. You can't see it because we're the voices, but I am switching into my Stafford Speedway hoodie.
You know, I gave mine to Dad because when I got mine, all they had was XL, and it looked like a crop top on me. It really didn't work out. Definitely time to grab a new one this year. I know they've got some new merch over on the website, and it's funny getting the broadcast pointed in the right direction. I was just bragging to you before we came on air. We're working on the studio. I got the new 55-inch. Well, it's not new anymore, but the 55-inch is nice and mounted up. We got the YouTube feed over there, and we're working with 4 monitors now here in the production trailer. But it's like, man, oh man, I don't even know where I'm looking and clicking anymore. There's so much going on here with live TV. It's wild.
Well, with the new 55-inch, you're going to have to change the name to Studio 55.
Well, no, we're going to go.
One notch.
I do like that. We might do 54+1, though. because I like the 54. It's the number of the house, which is kind of neat, and it was the whole
There you
thing
go.
with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? With the XFL, the NFL. We're gonna get deep here. We're gonna get deep. This is why I need a podcast. But 54, the 54th man, an NFL team, an NFL roster is 53 people. The 54th guy is basically the number one guy on the B squad, and I feel like that's me. I'm really good at a lot of stuff. I just don't know when I'm ever gonna get signed, if I'm ever gonna get signed. So I like to steal that from The Rock from time to time and call myself the 54th man. So there you have it. Live on VidaneTV, the story behind Studio 54, coming soon. Hashtag soon.
Well, I think we're going to be getting ready to go racing here soon. And once again, we are still single file, though. I think sorting some things out. And while we run under yellow, we're actually clicking off some laps. Before we know it, we're going to be at halfway. But it looks like they're going to double up this time by. We'll see if Libby, he's going to have a new driver alongside him now that Peters is out. Ryan Messer alongside. We've seen Messer in victory lane this season. So we'll see what happens on this restart.
Got to give a shout out to everybody tuning in to VidaneTV here tonight. Again, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all over the place. We're live and finally found where everybody's hanging out at. It seems like everybody's over at the VidaneTV chat. So everybody tuning in, Dylan over there, Lacey as well, Racy Lacey as I saw, telling these drivers that Alt F4 for roof cam. I don't think that's accurate.
I always enjoy the banter over on the Facebook and the YouTube and everything like that. Sometimes there's a lot going on. As we go back to green. Libby has his hands full with Ryan Messer in the number one now. Reggie Parent up to third as Dale Glessner is loose with the 9. Are they going to be able to keep it going the same way? 3 wide, but we keep on going. How about that? Glessner's stuck in the middle, but we're still moving right along for now.
Messer's hungry. Messer wants to lead this race right now in that 1 car, and Glessner in the 10, he just wants to make sure he's pointed in the right direction after all that calamity, and it seems like we got a little bit more calamity. There it is. Cody LeBlanc's jumping on with the sponsorship of tonight's Ham and Egger 100 at Stafford Motor Speedway. There's Microburst Mike Hopkins, man. He got involved in another one.
Yeah, I saw that. He was kind of drifting back there when I was saying 4 now, and looks like something big happened for sure.
Indeed it did. A little U-House Racing Designs instant replay. You can see we missed the shot there. There's the action. We'll back it up again. Choking on my own spit here in HQ. Goodness gracious. So we'll take a look from the chopper can. You can see Brent Roy, Mike Hopkins, those side by side. Hopkins tries to gather it back up. Sal checks up just a little bit. Oh, Cody LeBlanc checks up and gets rammed by the 81 car, sent on back end over tea kettle, as it were. And you can see Corey Casagrande not going to get a lap back, but at least the car's in one spot. Let's see Jeff Brown in the 27 as well, coming to a complete stop to avoid that calamity. And Mike Hopkins going to try and get some damage repaired on that number 78 there on pit road.
Yeah, tough break for Mike, and he's going to have to get things back going. A tough night so far for the local and the drivers with a lot of experience here at Stafford Motor Speedway. So it's definitely not the night they were looking for, and I'm sure we'll hear about it, all about it after the races for sure here on the Discord. And right now, though, it's been clean and up front for Ryan Libby in that number 46. He's going to need to pick up. He still needs to pick up some sponsorship. Maybe he should kind of start knocking on the doors of some of the local businesses around Stafford Motor Speedway. Maybe grab some dinner and do some salesmanship there. And I'm not sure. So Paul, you're local to the area fairly, and so like if I wanted to get pizza, I know there's like a Wellington Pizza 2, there's a Wellington Pizza House, there's other pizza places. What's the best pizza around there?
So that's a tricky question for that part of Connecticut, because the good pizza places almost look like houses. They're just kind of tucked in, and it's like, well, this is where the oven was, so we're just going to build the restaurant around it. So it's tough for me to pick a good pizza up there, because I don't know where they are. But you've got all the chains, a couple of exits down, but I mean, really, the track food is where it's at. And what we're going to end up having to do is get iRacing to rescan, because they're missing some things here, right? They're missing the whole bar there on the front straightaway. Stafford Speedway did a phenomenal job out there getting that set up. So you can grab yourself a nice tall boy, get that pulled pork sandwich, because you cannot go wrong with a Stafford Speedway pulled pork sandwich. We're missing the big screen down in the center of the field. Where's that? We still have to see if we can get VidaneTV hooked up on that thing up at Stafford. That'd be cool. That's a goal for 2024. And we're missing Cletus's burnout thing in the center, the Freedom Factory burnout thing.
Yeah, that's coming to their facility next year. That's going to be pretty exciting next summer. But we were getting ready to go to green here, but it looks like we're going to go another lap under yellow here. Not sure what happened there, but we'll re-rack them once again. And but I also want to know, I don't know if the virtual restrooms have the TV screens above the bathrooms. And I don't know. Maybe some of the VidaneTV viewers saw that on when they've gone to Stafford Motor Speedway and did that themselves for their home office. But I don't want any pictures of that. We're going to get ready to go green once again. Maybe not. Do we have something that the starting order not going right or something here?
I think our pace car driver might be a bit inebriated. I'm not entirely sure here. We're getting them all sorted out.
That happens.
No, but it's always entertaining once we get the story behind it, because it's usually somebody pushing the wrong button. Not it this time. My hands are up in the air at this point. We're gonna see if they go green this time. But it's definitely not my fault. We'll put it that way. We're gonna blame it on Brent. That's what we'll do. We'll blame it on the 26 car. But there we go. Green flag fly. There we go. It was Barney in the flag stand. He went to go get a pulled pork sandwich. Here we go. We're green.
Still a bit of a messy start, though, but we're off and going once again. Kenny Kibbe on the outside there a few rows back and trying to use that outside line to pick up some spots and make his way into the top 5. Yeah, sometimes when you see that happen when they go continue under yellow, it's the race director that's shouting on the radio for drivers to get in the right order. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, too. But right now, we're in the right order right now. Up front, Ryan Libby over Ryan Messer and Reggie Parent. It's a good day to have your name starting with an R. And but Stephen Daddy is going to look to crash that party. Fellow Connecticut driver in the 99 trying to make his way towards the front.
23 drivers still on the lead lap. Jeffrey Brown on the 27, the first car 1 lap down. And you can see everybody single file once again here as we're a few laps past halfway at this point. Libby holding on to the lead for right now. We saw that the Ryan Messer machine, the number 1, very, very strong, was under the attack, or on the attack just a few laps ago. We had a couple of quick cautions there, and it gave everybody an opportunity to really cool these tires down. So they do have a set of tires down on pit road, I believe, even with the shortened distance here tonight. Only 80 laps on the docket, 32 to go. Check that, 31 as they cross the stripe, and they're all chasing Libby in that 46 car.
Yeah, Libby really setting the pace here in the 46, and he's going to be tough to beat here. He seems to, once he's able to get that, clear the other driver on the front row on these restarts, he's able to set out and get at least a few car length lead. Right now, though, Ryan Messer has Reggie Parent on his tail, though, for the second spot. It's kind of the first challenge we've seen for the second position most of this race, and it's going to probably continue to get a little more heated as we have 30 more laps to go. All single file up front right now, but I don't think it's going to stay that way for very long.
Less than 30 to go here at Stafford Motor Speedway, a home track for many of the drivers in the field here tonight. Home track for myself as well. First time I ever ran at this track, or the first time I ever went to this track. I was actually in a street stock that day, which was pretty cool. It was actually really cool. And you know what I had for dinner that night?
Pizza.
Pulled pork sandwich from Stafford Speedway.
A pulled pork sandwich. Talking about
way to pay attention.
I don't know why but you got pulled pork, I got pizza. We're gonna have a good time, and as we did when we had some meals down in Florida a few weeks ago. But back at the racetrack, on the racetrack right now, Parent still trying to chase down Messer for the second spot, but there's Daddy-O right behind Parent for the spot as well. Ricker and Kibbe battling for 5th at the moment. Kibbe still has not found his way into the top 5, but he's getting closer, and Bollier has been following Kibbe this entire race right on his tail. St. Farrell's been quietly riding in 8th as well.
Yeah, a little onboard shot with Bollier here from the gyro cam. You can see just really turning down to the bottom of the racetrack, getting this thing to try and loosen itself up just a little bit more, bouncing it off the rev limiter on the end of the straightaway there, just giving it everything that she's got to get this thing up towards the front. They get a little squirrely up in front. Kibbe on the back bumper of Ricker, but they keep going in the right direction. There's Farrell right in behind the 56 of Bollier, as you made mention. Dale Glessner got it all sorted out. So it was 3 wide, 4 wide earlier, and you can see kind of holding on to the back half of the top 10. They get a little side-by-side action up in front of them.
Yeah, here we are, finally side by side. I knew it was going to happen before not too long. I don't think that's the right succession of words right there, but Kenny Kibbe is doing the right thing right now. He moves into 5th, and Bollier once again going to try to follow through. It's going to be tougher, though, as they continue to move up.
Wait, hang on. I don't mean to cut you off. If Paul doesn't read this comment and acknowledge this comment in the next 0.01 seconds, he has to send me pizza to my house. Oh, that was 2 minutes ago. Dang, I still have to buy Dylan pizza. Son of a biscuit.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Here we go.
And, luckily, I don't think there's any of those kinds of things with anyone watching giving me any challenges right now. Hopefully not. But a lot going on right now on the racetrack, right within the top 10. Libby's still running back up front, but with about a second lead now, as we have 23 laps to go at Stafford Motor Speedway. Beautiful day in Connecticut right now, even though we're at night. You know, that happens sometimes. But Libby is he's hoping for no yellow to end this race, but I don't know. I think you might see another yellow or two before this race is over.
Hashtag save us, 22 laps to go. Libby out front. He's got a second back to Messer. Parent just a little bit further on back as well. The top 5 pretty well spread out, even back to 6. There's Ricker in the 9 car. Still has Bollier hot on his tail. Zane Farrell there in his tire tracks as well. Dale Glessner, Brent Roy breaking back in to the top 10. He's got DJ Gerard in tow as well. Then it's a big gap back to Brandon Newhouse. And we haven't mentioned that 3 car all day. That right front, it looks like, has seen better days, Aaron.
Yeah, that's for sure. But that's short track racing for you. It's running pretty fine right now still. Brandon Newhouse, only a couple positions out of the top 10. Haven't had a chance to talk about him very much today, but he stayed for the most part out of trouble. And right now, Newhouse is he's got a bit of ground to make up to get into the top 10, unless there's an issue that arises. And you never know what can happen on these short tracks. Right now, there's the 04 Bobby Ship. He's having a good run, and actually he's in 22nd. The last car on the lead lap. He's still running out there, unlike his brother Brian Ship, who's in the pits. And not sure what happened there. But Ryan Libby catching some slower traffic here coming up on, I think that's Corey Casagrande again, who's just trying to make laps right now. You never know if there's some more attrition. He could end up with a top 20 finish. You never know.
Yeah, with 18 laps to go, we saw earlier on a couple of back-to-back cautions to open this thing up. So anything is possible for sure here on VidaneTV. And Libby in that all-white 46 car just picking off laps, and just like that, caution flag flies. We'll have to take a peek and see what happened under the U-House Racing Designs instant replay.
Yeah, for sure, and I think we just saw it. Is that, I'm not sure who that is. Is that,
I believe it's
Burkholder?
26, yeah, the Rookie of the Year contender. There's John Peters rejoin the race. Right up in the mix here. You can see Peters gets down low. Doesn't hit either one of these. Well, let's back that up. There's a little bit of a sideways.
Yeah, for sure. And there was a connection right here between these two cars. Not sure. Approaching the turn a little differently here. And they got connected right there, and Miller went for a ride.
Yeah, not necessarily a fun ride either. Stuck the landing. That's cool.
Yeah, that one fan is enjoying it. I see him or her pointing at the 6 car right there. But yeah, John Peters with the front row seat on that one. And yeah, not good for John Miller, who was running in the top 10 early in the race.
Yeah, that's a tough break. You can see a puff of smoke coming out of the back of that thing as well. The 6 car done for the evening, as it looks like. So gonna get the restart. Less than 15 laps to go. Probably get the restart about 13 or so. As you can see, that's going to be Jeffrey Brown going around getting one of his laps back. Ryan Messer there in second. Reggie Parent in third. Steve Daddio, Kenny Kibbe, the top 5 as they run. And we had ourselves a good little long green flag run, and everything seemed pretty good with the tires, the times. They didn't really lock lock them up too much. They didn't really slow down as much here. So we've been under caution here for a couple of laps. There's been an opportunity for some of these guys to maybe come down and get tires. I don't think we've seen any takers. The only guys that are down on pit road are Miller, Burkholder, and Corey Casagrande getting some damage repaired on their super lates, or the late model stocks rather. But everybody else still out on the original set of tires that they qualified with, and it seems like everybody's pretty much gathered up to handling. Just a lot of folks going for the same pieces of real estate at the same time as we get later and later into this one.
Yeah, we've seen track position is so very important here, and I think that's why a lot of them are pretty much electing to stay out. I don't think, seemed like talking with everyone beforehand, it really wasn't going to be in the plans to make any full-scale pit stops or anything in this race with that, especially with even it being shorter than expected. So, yeah, you have what you've got at this point, and Ryan Libby and Ryan Messer are going to line up here and get the one to go. With it's going to be 11 laps remaining when we go back to green. Kenny Kibbe is on the inside of row 3 now. Watch that number 4 car from Michigan, trying to crash the New England party towards the front. New England and Maritime party, I should say. Ryan Messer up there in the second spot. So we're going to see what happens here when we go to green very shortly.
Lining them up 2 by 2 all the way through. Pace car going to dip off there in turn 3, one of the unique pit road entries here at Stafford Speedway, and you can see everybody bringing them on down to the green flag. The 46 car gets the jump. He's going to hold on to the lead as they go into 1.
Yeah, oh, when we got big trouble.
With the leader.
Looked like Messer got hooked.
Caution flag going to fly with 11 laps to go. That 46 car still not moving. See if he can gather it back up. Don't know if he's stuck or if there's something broken on the 46 car, or if he's just that mad. He may very well be a bit upset after leading almost all the race. There you see it. Gonna call for the tow truck. He's done.
Yeah, and that's one thing too about the virtual Stafford. We don't have those safer barriers. So when you hit that guardrail, it makes quite the impact. But let's see what happened here on the restart.
Yeah, right off the green flag, they cross the start-finish line. Everything looking good, and you see, I don't know, it's almost a 46 comes up and the 1 comes down at the same time, and that's not something we see from either of those drivers.
Yeah, it looked like Messer got pretty loose there going into the turn, which is kind of odd too. These guys have been keeping it pretty straight here. You see, kind of loosens up there, and I think when he tried to gather it, got into the back of the 46.
Yeah, you can barely see it. You can see, we'll watch it in slow motion here. 1 gets in, he kind of cuts the, kind of cuts the corner just a little bit, still in a groove, plenty of room down there, and you can see he loses the back end of the race car right here. And as he gathers it back up, just a little bit of a nudge into that back corner panel of the 46, but that's all she wrote. That 46 hard up into that wall, and you made mention, no safer barrier up there. That's just steel. That's a big hit for the virtual 46.
Yeah, so Ryan Messer was finally turning his luck around a couple races, actually the last race, and now it's kind of back to normal as it was. And it looks like Messer's going to go to the back for the contact, as we see the running order has Parent and Daddio will make up the front row now. And that's going to be a pretty interesting thing as it clears the path for some potential new winners now. Kenny Kibbe, though, don't look now. He's up to 3rd spot. Could he end up stealing this show in the number 4?
Jumbling things up in a big way. Take a look at the top 10. Parent up front, Danio in 2nd. As you made mention, Kibbe, Ricker, and Bully are the top 5. Zane Farrell in 6th. Glessner, Roy, Gerard, and Uhouse, the top 10, as they get ready to take the restart with single digits. Going to get it with about 5 to go here. If we get the 1 to go this time by, we'll take a look at that pace car as they pass by Barney in the flag stand, and indeed has shut the lights off. So we're going to get that restart with 5 laps to go here at Stafford Motor Speedway.
All right, we're getting ready to get going here. Wow, this is going to be interesting. A lot of new faces at the front of the field, and I don't think Regan Parent or Stephen Daddio has won this season, so they're going to want a big result here to get back in the points race. And here we go. The pace car's down the access road, and we're getting going once again.
Big start for Parent, and the 17 car slides on up in front of the 99 of Steve Daddio, but Daddio sticks to the bottom of the racetrack side by side briefly for third. Kenny Kibbe gets it sorted out. Bollier going to take that opportunity. Ooh, Ricker up into the wall in the 9 car. Everybody keeps pointed in the right direction. I don't even think that slowed the 9 car down.
I don't think it did either. That's pretty spectacular. And I think Bollier, you do see a little bit of damage on his right front now, but he's it doesn't seem to be working on the inside as well as it was before, and he's not able to clear that number 9 machine. Zane Farrell now working into the 7th spot. Glessner giving 56 a tap, saying, let's get going here. We only got 3 laps to go. And we got a lot going on right now throughout the top 10, and we got to spin around the 8th or 9th spot. I think that's Keith Lord, who just was able to get into the top 10 for the first time tonight.
Oh, there's a receipt if I ever did see one. So we'll back this one up. It looks like we're going to be taking a peek at this one from a couple of different angles here on the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. And yep, the reverse button tells the tale the whole way, and you got to back it up for at least another half a lap or so you can get the whole story here. Focus in on the 17 and the 0 here. As we switch to the right camera. Just out a little bit. There's the 17 just kind of plowed on through, checked up a little bit. The 3 plowed on through, and they're playing bumper cars now with our cars. 81 not happy with the 17 either.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on, and then here's a little bit of retaliation there. It was a bit of a receipt. Luckily, it wasn't a CVS receipt, but
would have been able to wrap it around the track 3 times.
But yeah, that turned into a messy one, battling right inside the top 10.
Let's take a peek here. Top left of your screen, you'll be able to see that side-by-side contact between Ricker and the 56 of Bollier. The 10 gets into him. Save of the year from the 56. We're going to take a peek at that, but it kind of distracts all these guys, I think. And as they get into the corner, there was a lot of time there. Yeah, the 17 just kind of got in there a little too hot to trot, for sure. But let's back it up, take another look, because this is going to make it to TikTok for sure. At 56 of Bollier, if I can find the 56 in the running order, which for some reason I don't see. There he is, up in 5th. We'll back that up real quick, and then we're going to get back to the live shot as we get ready to take the green flag here. But gets the bump, and he's sideways for almost the entire corner. Finally gathers it back up. Barely loses any ground there to Ricker in the 9 car.
Yeah, and we're going to be going back to green. I guess it's going to be a green-white checker finish here, so it's going to be pretty exciting. So we'll reset the order. It's going to be Parent in the lead, Daddio 2nd, Kibbe 3rd, Ricker 4th, still holding on to that 4th spot, as we were talking about before, and Bollier in 5th, Glessner 6th, Farrell 7th, Brent Roy, we haven't said much about him tonight. He's running in 8th, U-House, and Ryan Salvatore, our Sal, currently rounding out the top 10. Can they remain in those spots? We shall see. You know how I was talking about how Corey Casagrande can just make some laps and maybe get a top 20? Well, he's in 21st now, so Reggie Parent doesn't have any tires, so that's an interesting report right there.
Yeah, and it's funny, and one of the cool things here at VidaneTV is that was from Facebook chat 6 minutes ago from our leader, Reagan Parent, the 17 car. He's letting us know they don't have any tires down on pit road, which explains why they haven't come down for pit stops all 80 laps so far. So that's one of the cool features we've got at VidaneTV. When we screw up in here in the booth, the drivers are right there on their toes letting us know what goes on, and what goes on is going to be a big thing here as they're coming to the stripe. Popsicle sticks in the air, so are the back tires of the 4 car. Green flag flies at Stafford.
Oh, and Daddio was able to make that great maneuver once again and get right in front of the Kibbe car and keep that 2nd position. They're battling behind the front 3 right now, but right now it looks like it's Parent, Daddio, and Kibbe coming to the white flag. Battle is for 4th between Bollier and Ricker, and they're spinning behind, so we're going to have another green-white checker since we didn't reach the white flag.
Indeed, and tonight's sponsor, Cody LeBlanc, jumping on around and pointing it in the right direction as the caution flag flies. What we didn't tell everybody, The laps got cut 20 laps, but we still are going to be putting on a full show here at Stafford Speedway here on VidaneTV. Here's the incident. Man, it's Arsal up into the wall. The 7 tries to avoid. The 04 tries to avoid. There's Messer around. 62's involved. The 81, the 26. Just a little bit of everybody. There's Peters and Hopkins going by on the outside, and you can see the 7NH grabs a gear, points it in the right direction, stays on the lead lap, but doesn't really have much time to try and get back up through this field.
No, Cody LeBlanc having some trouble there in the 7NH, and yeah, he's gonna. But once again, we just saw that happen. What happens if there's a big melee on the white flag lap? He could, by being on the lead lap still, could be the benefactor and move up quite a few positions if he can stay out of trouble again. So a lot can happen here in 2 laps.
Yeah, in the real world and the virtual world here in iRacing, and man, it's real easy to get tongue twisted when you do all these iRacing shows here on VidaneTV. We've had ourselves a busy week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday shows each and every night this week. Tuesday night with Tim's Corner Motorsports, last night with the Turn 4 podcast, Winter Series tonight, obviously with the NEP Series, and then TCM, Tim's Corner Motorsports, coming back tomorrow for the Toco Electric Super Lates. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be the first race ever at Slinger Speedway that we're going to broadcast here on VidaneTV, the new piece of content from iRacing that just came out with the build yesterday, as I believe the update came out. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. I know you and I talked a lot about Slinger when we were down there at Freedom Factory with the boys.
Oh, yeah. Slinger's. I've been there to see where the track is, but I've never seen a race there in person, and it's towards the top of my bucket list, as well as I know Tim Terry was excited to see my potential schedule for 2024. I potentially have the IWK 250 up in, I think it's Nova Scotia, in July on my list. We'll see if that works out. I know you've been talking about potentially going up there for a week or so as well. That's on your wish list. So we'll have to see how that all works out.
Yeah, we got a little bit of travel here penciled in the next couple of weeks. It's a little bit warmer than Nova Scotia. We'll see how that all unfolds. But once that trip's in behind, I'm going to be going out and making sure we get everything taken care of with the passport and the travel and all that good stuff. And we're going to see how many, what 2 weeks I can get up in Canada and see the most racetracks up in the Maritimes and parts of Central Canada as well. That's going to be a blast. But here we go. Restart one more again. Green, white, checkered attempt number 2, number 3. Who knows? We're going to try and get to 100 laps. Green flag flies once again here at Stafford.
Yeah, we'll probably be at 100 laps with all these yellow flags at this point, but it's kind of the same situation once again on this restart. The front 2 are able to separate themselves from Kenny Kibbe, and then we're battling and bumping and everything behind them. Are we going to stay green? That is the big question. Yes, we are. Oh, no. Yes, we are.
Did we get the white? Did we get the white? I don't know. We'll have to see. That may have been the race.
I think it came out just before they before they crossed the line. So I'm not sure what's going on here. We are on the final lap. It is showing. So Daddy is going to get back in his position.
There it is.
And they are going to throw the checkered.
We'll see.
Little anticlimactic finish here, but Reggie Parent stayed out of trouble to take the victory.
Indeed he does, and it's probably one of the cleanest race cars on track here at this point. There's no damage on that 17. Going to drive on around the pace car and get down and dirty with that burnout, which apparently you can't do in Connecticut. I guess I learned that last year. I don't know if it's a Connecticut thing or if it's a Stafford thing.
Yeah, I don't know. You probably know better than me. But Reggie Parent's going to do some celebrations here, and we're going to catch up with him in a moment. I believe that's his first victory this season, so I'm sure he's pretty excited at a track that I believe he's raced at a good bit. So, yeah, a lot. and he's going to actually just park it here into victory lane, just like you do in real life. And I think we're going to catch up with him, and you're here in a moment.
Yeah, we'll take a quick peek at the finishing results. Reagan Parent coming home with the victory. Steve Daddio going to finish in second. Kenny Kibbe there in third. Evan Bollier, Zane Farrell. Zane Farrell sneaking into the top 5 towards the end here tonight. Dale Glessner They're in 6th. Brandon Newhouse, Brent Roy, Scott McDonald, and Bobby Ship rounding out the top 10. Great improvement there for Ship in that 48 car. Back towards the back of the pack a little bit earlier on, but made his way up into the top 10.
Yeah, great run for Scott McDonald and Bobby Ship. Didn't really talk about them almost the entire race, and they stayed out of trouble and got up there. Some other drivers not with that great runs, but moving up. We talked about Keith Lord getting sent to the back of the pack, and he's finishes 12th. Messer only able to recover to 14th. Adam Henry with a 15th place. Cody LeBlanc. Jeffrey Brown with a good 17th place run on the lead lap, and Austin Belke rounding out that first screen.
And there you can see Jason Ricker in the 19th position. Rookie of the Year contender Colby Burkholder going to round out the top 20. Trouble for Corey Casagrande early on in this one. Tried getting back on the lead lap, but not in the cards here tonight. Finishes in 21st. Mike Hopkins, John Peters, early incidences take them out, as well as DJ Gerard, Ryan Libby, John Miller, and Brian Ship rounding out the field here tonight. And well, you're back over on the start-finish line on the unique placement here for Victory Lane here, and you've caught up with our winner, Regan Parent.
Yeah, I've had time to run down here and talk to Regan Parent. Reggie, what a great run for you. We always have seen a guy named Reggie win at Stafford. How exciting is it to add your name to the list here as an NEP winner at Stafford Motor Speedway?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I would have liked to have ran it all the way out at the end and just stay green, but take them as you can get them. I mean, just survival at that point. I mean, something happened with Peters up ahead where he disconnected and the other two cars got together and it just left me out front.
Yeah, and what were you thinking at that moment when you're riding in third there, just kind of trying to keep some of those other racers behind you, and you see the front two get together and kind of parts the ways for you to be in command then for the next restart, or I should say several restarts there.
Yeah, at that point, it was just hold on. I mean, Daddy-O had been on me pretty much the whole race. We rode together like 5th and 6th, and we made our way up to the front, and then it was just about getting good restarts all the way to the end. I mean, I feel like I was able to get a pretty good jump in the box and get about a car length or so I felt pretty comfortable going through the first corner, and I knew I could just drive away.
Well, congrats once again, and who would you like to thank for your first victory of this season?
Yeah, RKM Setup Shop, Black Flag Podcast, they're on the car, and then just Team Icon. We partnered up with them at the start of the season to run Icon Ford Motors, and it's been pretty good so far.
All right. Well, Reggie Ruggiero has 19 documented victories, although I'm sure he has more at Stafford Motor Speedway. But in Victory Lane today, it's Reggie Parent. And Paul, I think you're with second place finisher, home state driver, coming home with the runner-up result.
Indeed, I am. The 99 of Steve Daddio coming home in second after a solid qualifying run up in the top 5. Steve, great run in that 99 Daddio's ride. Talk to us, man. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Last year we came with a junk car and limped it home into 7th, and I kind of had this race circled as when we weren't really going to perform at, which is funny because this was my home track when I was racing in real life. So it feels really good to put the car on the podium and listening to Reggie's interview. It was really all about just keeping the nose clean, being in the right place at the right time, and keep it going forward.
You've been in and out of Stafford Motor Speedway many a times as a competitor, as a fan. What's your favorite food at the racetrack?
The French fries, and you got to put the malt vinegar on them. And I would get them after the feature races because they'd just be completely dehydrated and starving. They were great.
That actually sounds pretty slamming. I might get a side of those with that pulled pork.
I miss them. I miss them every Friday night.
Oh, we're going to have to hook up at the Spring Sizzler, get the VidaneTV party going, and maybe we'll bring our own French fries. Who knows? Who gets you to and from the virtual and the real racetrack in the 99 team?
Got to thank Daddy. It was Auto Parts, as always, my dad's shop on the nose of the car. That paint scheme is actually, and I'm glad I get to talk about it. It's his paint scheme from the 80s when he was running late models here. So I'd like to throw it back to him. I think it's a clean looking scheme, and appreciate everything he's done for my racing career over the years. So good to get his scheme on the car. And then my family, they're out there watching somewhere. I think my mom's blowing up my phone right now. She's a little surprised too. And friends as well, watching on YouTube and Facebook. And then Reverie Brewing, again, up in Newtown, Connecticut. Great beers, good food from the food trucks out there. If you're in the area, stop by. And then my teammates, Four Wide Weaponry, especially Kibby on the restarts there. He was nice to me. It didn't hang me out on the outside, and I really appreciate it, because if you get stuck on the outside here on those restarts, you're going to the back pretty quick. So shout out to Kibby, thank you very much, and good finish for Sal, and I think even Austin salvaged the day after a tough start.
Absolutely, and all chasing down that 99 car, finishing in second. Great run here tonight, Daddy-O.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the broadcast, guys.
Absolutely, and you caught up with one of his teammates, Aaron. Kenny Kibby finishes in third.
Yeah, Kenny, for not the first time this season, you've had to work your way from the middle of the pack and make your way into the top 10, then the top 5, and here you are in the podium. I'm sure you're pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I knew it was going to be tough. Again, we didn't qualify very well, and but that's kind of the tale of how these short track races can go, because we qualified in the top 3 at Hickory, and with how the restarts went, we just did nothing but go backwards all night long. And then here we qualified 11th, which is definitely not ideal, and pretty much only went forward. I mean, either went forward or held our spot. And that's pretty much what we needed to do. I mean, we were in conserve mode pretty much the entire, or most of the race, just trying to save the right front tire and just kind of prey on other people's mistakes, and got a few things to go our way, and had a shot there at the end, but just didn't quite have enough to really challenge for the win.
Yeah, and with the misfortune of some of the front runners, and I'm sure this is you'd call it a good points day as well, as we're still kind of in the early stages of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Hickory was really rough for me, but then, obviously with Peters having his problems tonight, and I think he's missed a race, so that puts him down there a ways. But then Messer had a pretty rough night tonight, and in the end, so that'll really close the gap up a bit. But yeah, it's just tonight was just about survival and just trying to keep the thing clean, and so pretty much mission accomplished.
All right, who gets you to the racetrack?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody at Nocturnal Sim Racing and Four Wide Weaponry as well. You talked to Steve, our teammate, earlier. He had a great run. You guys at VidaneTV for the broadcasts, everybody at NEP just for coming together, giving these big fields of cars every week. U-House Racing Designs for sponsoring the series now, and everybody that likes to ride on board with me on Twitch.
All right, rounding out the podium, that's Kenny Kibby. Back to you, Paul.
And that's going to do it here for us on VidaneTV here tonight. All wrapped up here at Stafford Motor Speedway. And one more night of racing here on VidaneTV before a quick weekend. And we reset and redo it all again next week. The TCM tomorrow night here on VidaneTV, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, is the start time. We'll double check that and get that across the airwaves. I know Tim's out there watching here tonight. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching those Toco Electric super lates tomorrow. I believe there are still some spots available. First come, first serve, and we've had probably 40, 50 cars show up for those fields. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. NEP right back here next Thursday night, next Wednesday, the Turn 4 Podcast Winter Series, and next Tuesday night here as well. Tim's Corner Motorsports having, I believe, a street stock double, something along those lines. We'll have to double check the schedule here as well. But for everybody here in the NEP series, everybody from VidaneTV, I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. Alongside me, as always, on Thursday night, Aaron, Aaron Creed. We're done for the night. We'll catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.